Well, hello everybody. Um, well, everybody seems to be Grayson right now. um, so we'll see how we're doing here in a little bit. Maybe we'll get some people to join in. As you've seen today, if you watched any of my videos, you'd see um, see if we can get my videos. I was looking to see what was going on. It's looking like we're end up starting to see if we can get start getting some drones. It looks like maybe within the week I should have drones hatching. So let's see how things are going. Hey Tim, how things going? So it seems like all right. Then you got Michael, getting a few people I normally see on my regular lives. This first time I've used StreamYard directly, so we're working on that. So how have things been going for you guys? I've been like today. I've been sort of busy, like I said, looking through my hives, checking to see. Got one hive. I said, which probably going to end up having some drones within the week, because the combs I had some drone combed on. The regular workers have already hatched most of the way, so if they're laid at the same time, so that leaves me a little bit longer on the drone. You hate the weekend's about over. I hear that. Michael's, when did it snow? Last night, or has it been snowing continually? Right now we're running about 56 degrees right now. Breeze is cooler than it actually is outside, but still the humidity. That's funny, Grayson. You're a little further north than I am, and you're 60 degrees. Ooh, 10 degrees. Uh, I don't like it that cold. I've been in it that cold. Minot, North Dakota. It was minus 16 with a negative 42 to 45 wind chill factor. There was no humidity in that. No, it was cold. Don't get me wrong. It was cold, but I mean, I could go out dressed like a real light until the wind started to blow. When the wind blew, that was it. I was through with it. I went inside and covered up. Sat on the heater. I mean, literally sat on the heater for a while. Yeah, that's what I noticed too, Grayson. Even when I was looking through the hive, they've got a lot of pollen. They're not pollen bound, but they're. I'm thinking I might have to go and maybe tomorrow take a couple foundations out of the one hive and put it into my secondary hive. See if that helps boost them a little bit. So, hey Lee, welcome to this. Welcome to my stream. Yeah, I'm gonna probably need your phone number, my Lee, so I can let you know before I do these things. 'Cause this first time using the StreamYard. So how things going in your yard, Lee? Right now, everybody's talking. Shoot, Lee, let me bring you in on this thing. Maybe we can have a little more um, continuity here than me just reading the messages. I don't know how to do that yet. Yeah, May Hive was really good, and Holly Hive, the second video I did, they're both doing good. I'm just, they're both doing their jobs. They got stuff everywhere. Holly Hive, May Hive's got it up into the second brood chamber. You know, got about two frames in the top chamber, and they're loaded. Oh man, sorry, Lee. Stream stream bottom right side. So you'll see here. Comments. I must have the extreme cheap version. I will see that. So this is all an experiment for me tonight, guys. More as well as try to talk about how things are going with the bees. I hope you guys can get into your bees. Gunlight, you should be. You should have been able to. You're a little bit further south than me, and over there by Mississippi. This is my maiden voyage on StreamYard, so you gotta be patient with me, guys. I'm trying to work with this. Banners, no banners, no plan. Trying to find the link and stuff. I don't see that. The invite button even. Oh, there it is. Invite. There it is. All right. Copy. Let's see here. Copied that. Copied. Okay. Now you guys are seeing hear me talk through this. Okay. All my the other side here is showing me is my thumbnail. Oh, there we go. So then I go to the chat and pin it. I guess set it up there. Hey, Philip Morris. Oh, crap. Man, this thing is giving me a fit. Paste. There we go. Finally got it in there. It's being stubborn. Yeah, that's true. We're all part of the No Life Beekeepers group. I don't know. I don't think Bob got the message that I was going live tonight. Yeah, DC. He's probably sitting down to a late lunch or in his bees. Depending on how cool Washington is right now. Anybody wants to join? I did put that link in there. Unless it disappeared on me again. There it goes. Got it in there again. It's an Aussie beekeeper. How you doing tonight? From way down under. I'll pin that there. I didn't pin it, but I got the link in there now. Again, maybe you guys will see it this time. So he's just starting in the morning pretty good, and here we are. We're about ready to be in the evening here in Alabama. Yeah, I'm having to run. I'm running on my laptop with a split screen tonight. Like I said, I don't really have a place right now. I can actually set up like a studio setup. So this is like I said, man, my maiden voyage, and maybe we can get some more people on here eventually, whether it be tonight or down the road. I can talk to a few people and see what we can get on. Maybe I can set up some times for people to come talk on this. Hey Vincent, how you doing this evening? Yes, Aussie, that now makes it you're in our tomorrow. I don't know which one's running faster or slower on this thing. The StreamYard side or the YouTube side? So you planning on getting out in your B yard today anytime, Aussie, or are you able to? Well, I'm glad to hear it's coming through good on your end. That's a long ways away. Hey, Aussie, I'm gonna put this link up here again. If you want to hit that link, and come in and explain about how some of your season goes down under, like because that's what we're all just communicating what different people do in different situations. Um, because we're all different zones of the United States, country, world for that matter, and you see how things are going for you guys. Maybe even get an update from you on the Varroa mite issue going on down there, if it's in control or They found a way to prevent it? Would be some interesting information to find out. That sounds good. Maybe we can. Yeah. Uh, I put in here my Gmail. Maybe you can send me an email. We can talk. About stuff. Maybe get you on for a little interview. Now, Grayson, is that 4 or 5 mites in one hive, or is that overall? Hello, sideline. Yeah, I see. I mean, they may say that, but we still got to figure out if they got out to any kind of wild population at all. And you probably need to keep up on your mite checks. And Grace, what you might want to try to do is check more than the one hive. See, unless you have already, and found get an overall estimate of what's going on with all your bees. Well, granted, you only have 4 hives right now, 4 or 5 hives right now, but well, I've already got one swarm trap up right now. Have scouts looking at it, and I don't know if they're scouting from my hive or where they're from, but I got a couple of scouts hitting it. Yeah, because the problem with those mice, though, they get in that wild population. No telling where to go from there. Probably like what everybody, the rest of the world's having to face dealing with these varroa critters. Yeah, what a lot of people started doing here, Aussie, is testing instead of alcohol wash. They've been using one teaspoon of uh, Dawn Ultra in a gallon of water. It's makes if you have mites, it makes them drop faster than it does in alcohol. Um, it's what the general consensus has been on that. Darn, Philip. That's not eradication. It's pretty darn close. A lot of people do that, Philip. They don't even test. They just go ahead. Well, we know we got them, so we might as well treat it. You know, skip the Dawn Ultra and go straight to the smoking them out till their eyes water. Yeah, Philip, I don't know. I've seen you do that on those sticky boards, counting the drop. I mean, yeah, you know what's actually dropped off of them after that treatment, but then the other way is just a percentage game. You know, because when you do a shake, you're looking at 300 bees. You know, you really don't know how many bees are in there, but you're only getting a cross section look at the potential of what's in that hive. I don't know if we actually have a decent enough situation on the testing of that, but that's the way I've been seeing it. Is that even both ways, I think it's still only a cross section because you still have some that are in brood. If you're not like my area, we're never. I'm never broodless. I got one hive with 5, and one hive's kept 2 or 3 um, frames of brood all season. And that's true too. You don't. If it's cold, you don't have to open up the hive and expose it to any cold air. So there is that factor on that. So, it sort of looks like my season's actually jumping up here a little bit, getting ready to roll. Red maple pollen is coming in. Trees actually producing pretty good, starting to bloom out really good now. And the only way you're going to find out the varroa resistance, regardless of what people say, is when you get them. Hey, Mike. I mean, Lingerian bees are the rarest of bees on Earth. I mean, it's a possibility that something's kept their numbers down, or they're only surviving. The ones that are surviving because they've built up either a resistance or a learn to live with whatever pests and diseases that come along with that. What date does spring start here? Uh, for the north in North Texas, March. Yeah, I guess March, first part of March is probably the closest roundabout, depending on where you're at. Well, Mike, he was saying that they're on a secluded island. I mean, I don't know if because it is a secluded island that Varroa hasn't made it there, or if Varroa is there, they're learning to adapt to that environment with the bees. I mean, there's all kinds of factors in that. But then there's the other factor too is if you take them out of that secluded environment and then expose them to potential pests, where's that outcome going to come to be? You know, I mean, you won't know unless you try. You know, there's that. You know, so he has sent bees around the world. Okay, in ship. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that breed of bee. I don't I have no real information on them. I'm just taking what I see and what's happened with our bees and sort of balancing the two to see what's going on. You know, or get a somewhat of a picture of what's going on. So I mean, I could be speaking out my butt. That would be interesting to hear from firsthand too. Appreciate that, Ozzy. Yeah, I ain't learned how to pin this in here yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and paste it again. See if anybody wants to join in. Mike loves a chit chat. Honestly, I only have two, and they're both wild catches. I just started this year or this past season. Um, they've made it through winter, so I guess I can call myself a beekeeper right now because I haven't. Not that I haven't killed any bees. I did a cutout, killed that, ended up killing that cutout, but um, you know, that's that. You know, as far as that goes, I mean, it was a mistake. I was learning, but the ones I have, I've kept alive. Hey, how things going, man?
Hey, Ed, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Can you hear me okay?
Oh, I hear you all right.
Yeah, I don't have very good service out here at the farm, so we'll see how it goes.
So how
I
things
got,
been going?
they've been
What was
going
that?
pretty good. I'm clearing, I'm clearing some, I don't know, brush and crap for, I got to build a fence. I bought some land and it doesn't have a fence between it and the next property. So I've got to build a fence.
Uh, even though you're clearing the brush up along that to put up a fence, you go put some along that fence line for pollination and stuff. You know,
Uh,
trees.
that's way down the road for me. I hadn't done much other than just look around to see what's there's some stuff out here, but what we need is, well, we're getting it today. We need rain. That's what we needed last year. We just didn't get rain, so it's been tough going.
Yeah, I mean, we were been raining. That's why it took me 10 days to get back into my girls. Yeah,
I hope
still.
Aussie beekeeping. I hope Aussie beekeeping is still on because I watch his channel just so I can hear him say, "Let's look at the Wyatt hive."
Yeah.
Wyatt hive. That's my favorite hive. I don't know if I can see the comments. Let me see if I can see the comments.
He just
Uh,
commented saying the stream is perfect. Yeah, so
See, I always end up hanging up when I try to go into comments. I don't know. I just I can't.
yeah, I'm running a split screen tonight with StreamYard and YouTube, so I'm at least able to see both.
Well, I guess I can see comments or you, but I can't see both. So
Yeah,
I'm looking at the comments now.
yeah.
Yeah, I also in my very first, that was in my second video, the one after my introduction, I gave a shout out to Aussie Beekeeping because he does the best job of anybody of like putting you right there in the hive. He's got that camera just right over the top of the colony. He's really good at that.
Wait, had that? Is Aussie? You have that camera strapped to your head when you do that?
He's got this. He's got it on a tripod. It's a real light like GoPro type camera.
Uh,
Sticks. It's got three legs on a tripod and it sticks horizontally out and straight down over the. When he pulls those bees up, you can see it as soon as he sees it. It's really cool. I'm gonna copy him one day.
you know, copy them one day. Yeah, I
Yeah,
might be able to copy a few people when I grow up.
I use my phone and I think it's too heavy to do. Maybe he's got a counterweight or something. But
Well, I have a tripod that has a tilt on it.
mhm.
It has a tilting head on the top of it. It bends over. I could probably do that, but then I was trying to figure out how to do a live on the phone or on the laptop doing that, and then seeing the comments and all that. I was like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna do that one. So I can answer some questions or what people are asking, or you know.
I need to
So
go back and review. Also, I need to go back and review some of your videos. I don't have you pulled honey? I don't know that I've
no,
seen.
no, I have not pulled any honey yet.
No, no,
My first year.
I was talking about Aussie. I knew you
Oh,
hadn't yet. I watch all your videos too, Ed. Hey, is that little nuke? Is it still alive?
yes, it's at 4 frames, and she's got 3 frames. 3 of the 4 are loaded with brood,
That's good.
and I've been keeping food open feeding so that they're not starving, and then I have some protein patty on the top of it on inside too, keeping them fed. So they're doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They're not growing fast, but I'm thinking about tomorrow going into the May hive and pulling some pollen and some extra honey off of that. It's because they've got more than they need,
Mm-hmm.
and then put it in that hive. See how if it bumps them up or not too, so they have food in the hive. Aussie says has seen plenty of bad beekeeping videos. He knows that's not what I don't want to watch. So yes, that's what he did.
I don't mind watching the bad ones too.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can give somebody a little idea, a little help.
He says he uses a microphone stand.
Yeah. Okay. I know it gives a great view into the colony, though. It really does. I think
Uh,
I think they had the same issue that we had this past year, just not enough rain.
yeah, he said he didn't get any honey this year. No, not a
Mhm.
drop this year. And we are in summer, so
Yeah, he lost a bunch of colonies, and he was able to split one really strong one. That's the crazy thing about bees. It's kind of like, did you see Lee Quimby's video, Kodiak Farms, today?
yeah,
He he lost like 5 of 6 or 6 of 7, but the one that was left was just bursting at the seams. It's really strange how sometimes that happens.
yeah. He was saying something about it being that it's. He's thinking it had something to do with that leatherwood though too.
Yeah, I'm not sure I believe that, but maybe. I bet it was varroa mites, but I mean, if you're betting the easy money, you're going to bet varroa mites.
Yeah, especially if he hasn't been out in that yard for a while.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
Oh, really? So you got too much rain, Aussie. Wow.
Oh, rained all spring. Well, there's that too. If it rains too much, they can't collect the pollen and the nectar.
Yeah. I think the cedar, I've been cutting a bunch of cedar and I've been seeing little yellow flowers on the cedar trees. So I think they may be just about to bust open. That's
That
about the
might be
time.
the yellow pollen I'm seeing. Yeah, the what is it? The red maple in my backyard is getting more and more flowers on it. I'm starting to see the bees on it. So
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. I don't have a red maple, but my neighbor has a silver maple. I'm watching it closely. They're starting to swell up, but they hadn't burst open yet.
I'm thinking about tapping it, and because something Earl said that he had tapped a few trees
Hmm.
and leaving the buckets on it. He's having to put floaters in it because the bees are going to that syrup coming out of the tree. Be a good source of natural syrup for them. You know, so that's one thing I was thinking. Because they say you get good, you can actually make maple syrup off of red maple. Now, whether I get the flow off it or not, it'd be a different story.
Yeah, I was having some fun with Aussie there. Why would the Varroa want to go there? Didn't that country start as a penal colony?
Yep,
People had to be made to go there.
Aborigines and penal colony. Yeah, it's amazing what they turned that country into from being a prison island.
Yeah, it's like 95% of the people live right on the northern and right edge of it. They live in like 5%, less than 5% of the country, I think. I might be talking out of turn, but I watch a little bit of stuff on YouTube about stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know it's a big continent though.
Yeah, it is.
One big island.
I know where Aussie keeps his bees. That's a beautiful place. That's a beautiful view.
It says they're basically started starving because of all the rain.
Mm.
Now they're still weak, but they're recovering.
That's something else. Yeah, we had the opposite problem. I lost 5 colonies because I couldn't get down to the farm for 6 weeks, right in the middle of the worst part of summer, like July and August. And yeah, that's the only ones I've lost. Well, I lost one more that became queenless. They swarmed out and didn't remake a queen. But So I've lost 6 in the summer, but I've not lost any in the winter.
So far, these two I've kept them through the winter, so at least I must be a beekeeper. You know? like I said earlier, I said, yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I've killed one colony, but that was because I was trying to remove it, and it was
I
too
did the
hot.
same, I did the same thing. I the first cutout I did, I didn't know that you had to get them out of the box and put them in the shade, and I left them out in the sun. I killed all of them. They were great. They were huge. They were gentle. I felt horrible about it, but you just do stuff and you learn.
Yeah, I don't feel too horrible about losing those because I took 170 stings trying to get it out of the soffit.
I felt terrible because back then I only had like 5 colonies, and that was going to be some of my seed. And they were great. They never came at me from the whole time I cut into them. They were fantastic. But
Now, I did get some good honey off of that. I mean, it's interesting flavored honey. I've never tasted it. It's sort of the honey was sort of citrusy flavor, and then right at the end you had a punch of raisin. Right at the end, it sounded like it tastes like you stuck a raisin in your mouth. Yeah,
yeah, the little bit of honey I got from these bees here at the farm had a citrusy taste to it. Really good. But I only got, I went into this year with 17 colonies out here, and the drought was so bad. I got 32 pounds off of all those colonies. Now, they weren't all, ready for production, but still, it was tough. And then I thought I wasn't going to get anything because we really didn't get any rain. And then when I was just putting honey supers off, it looked like I had about 75 or 80 pounds, but that turned out to be crystallized in the frame. So I got like 20 more pounds out of that. And I just gave it back and let the bees clean it up. It
yeah.
wasn't crystallized so hard that they couldn't use it.
I have a theory about that crystallization. Outside of scientific, other than scientific reasons. Um,
Mhm.
How we most of the time we'll feed. I feed all through the winter because it gets warm enough certain days they'll fly and they'll go eat. They'll go to the open feeder, and so what I'm thinking is we feed them the sugared water, and depending on your consistency on that sugared water, that by the time flow comes and they're hitting the flow, you'll have like down the outside edges where they've not eaten all that stored syrup, and then that crystallizes. As they're trying to turn it into honey, it ends up crystallizing because of the sugar. You can take a piece of string and stick it in the sugar water; it'll start creating crystals in the sugar water.
Well, that makes a little sense, but I don't. I only feed internally, and I never take any frames that have had any chance of having sugar water in them. And unless the bees take it from the bottom all the way up to the top, after it's stored, and I mean months after, because I don't open feed at all. So,
Like what I've got it right now, I can't prove that it won't crystallize because I've got the double deep running, and most of the top deep is honey stores or syrup stores, whichever. Because I fed the fool out of them for a while just to make sure they made it. I didn't want them to die on me. So there's no telling what I have in those top frames right now, whether it's all honey or if it's a mix.
Well, I've got 2 problems that I have to deal with out here. In July and August, we have a plant that's called snow on the mountain, and it will contaminate your honey and it'll burn your throat when you eat it. So I have to pull all my honey supers during that time period. I don't put them back on until September 15th, and it's still out with some blossoms on it, but I think the bees have already gotten everything they're going to get from it. It's already got the seed pod developing below the bloom. But the first year that I didn't, because I needed to draw comb, I didn't take my honey supers off, and I got like 35 pounds of honey, and you couldn't eat it. it it some people say, oh, they sell it as hot honey. It wasn't heat hot. It was uh I don't know. It felt like it was poisoning you. But
Sure, like a reaction.
yeah. So what I did was I was hoping that it would be like that honey in Nepal, that hallucinogenic honey. That way I could sell it for a lot of money, but it would only give you diarrhea if you ate too much of it.
Psilocybin honey.
so so what I do is if I've got, I use a deep for the brood box, and I also put a medium for the brood box. So it's what they call a 1.5 system. So in that top box, when I put them on there, if they've been fed sugar water or if they've been on when that plant is out blooming, I make an X on top of my frame to let myself know, don't pull that for honey. Because sometimes I'll take frames and I'll raise them up to get them to start drawing out comb in that honey soup, or I'll pull combs up because they'll tend to go up there and draw more comb if you do that. Sometimes an empty soup or above, they won't ever touch it unless you put a little bit of something to entice them up.
Huh.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what caused it to crystallize, but there was no way that it could have been. Only way it could have been contaminated with sugar water if somebody else was feeding. And out here, I know there's a beekeeper about 5 miles away, but I don't know of anybody else. And if they move it up, some people do say they move the honey up, but I don't know why they would have moved it up, because they really didn't have enough in their brood area. There wasn't enough honey to be moving up, really.
Huh.
But what I got, even if I'd gotten 75 or 80 pounds, that's not nearly enough off of 20 colonies.
Huh. I used to live in Texas, in the Spicewood Springs area, and then Georgetown area, and they had all
Yeah,
kinds of things blooming. What was that?
that's right outside of Austin.
Yeah. So I used to live in that area for a while, and
Mhm.
I never even thought about that some of the areas I lived in were so plentiful with stuff growing and blooms and blossoms. I never even thought about bees, man. And I get out here to
I think.
Dothan. Go ahead.
Well, I grew up in the Delta of Louisiana, and that'd be a great place to have bees. Other than there's a lot of row crops, you have to worry about the chemicals. But as far as rainfall and flora, it's abundant there. It's very similar to, like, you've probably seen Gus Mitchell, and that he's in West Memphis, which is in Arkansas. So I grew up right next to the river like that, across from Mississippi in Louisiana, in the Louisiana Delta. So it's very similar area to, like, it's got swampy areas, and it's got cotton fields and soybeans and all that stuff. So I've got a friend that keeps a few bees over there, but I think you could make a lot more honey in those kind of areas. I mean, everybody complains about row croppers and chemicals, but I mean, look at what Ian Stepler does
Yeah,
next to canola fields.
yeah.
He can
Sends
get
out semis of honey.
he can get 300-400 pounds off of one colony in just a little while, in less than a month.
Yeah, I think I was Grayson's age. I had my first encounter with wild bees, and I used to go to the tree and steal honeycomb out of the trees where they were at. Never even bothered me, never stung me. Just let me take it. And that's when I was in South Carolina as a kid.
Lee said Louisiana is beekeeper heaven, at least for me.
Yeah.
I think it's a good place to keep bees. I won't ever move back there just because I don't like the politics of Louisiana, but
I think you don't like humidity of Louisiana.
It's definitely more humid, but over here it's just plain out hot.
Yeah, I was riding a motorcycle to 113 through Austin. It felt like I was riding in an oven. And blowtorch. Yeah, I'm not planning on staying on much longer because I think Grayson's got a live coming up late at 7 tonight.
Oh, does he?
I don't want to step on him. He got
Is
a little bit
one where
longer
he's got
to
the
go.
interview? Is Grayson
I don't
on
know.
here?
Grayson was on here earlier. I don't know if he is right now or not. Haven't seen him for a
They're
while.
on here. They should promote it. I think they were going to be talking to who was it? Randy McCaffrey, I think, the Dirt Rooster. I hope I'm not false advertising.
Yeah. I have no clue, but like I said, I don't want to step on him and what he's doing. I'm just trying to build what I got right now to do a little bit earlier.
Well, it's 6 o'clock here.
Yeah, I'm 3 minutes away from 6 myself.
Yeah.
So
What
I think
time are you in, Ed?
I'm in Central Time Zone.
I know that, but what you're in Southern Alabama, right?
Yes.
I'm close to Mobile.
I'm 2.5 hours away from Mobile. Mobile is
Okay.
to the west of where I'm at. I'm like 45 minutes from Georgia and 30 minutes from Florida, right there in the corner.
Okay. So yeah, Mobile. I always think Mobile's on the east, but it's in that little part that juts over, right?
Yes.
I have a brother-in-law that lives in Mobile.
Between Mississippi and the tip of Florida, it comes down in that area.
Mm-hmm. Georgia's the bee capital of the United States. So.
Oh, I was wrong. Grayson's is on Monday night. I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought he said that he's going to do one tonight. So I was speaking out of turn.
So you guys go check out Grayson on the. Usually there's Time Is Honey does one right before Grayson. He's the warm-up act.
Yeah. Sometimes I miss one or the other depending on my schedule. So it's on Monday.
So Ed, tell me why you got involved with bees.
Well, I'm 57 years old, and I was just sitting back thinking, I don't have
old.
Not old, that old.
I'm 56.
A lot more. When the young guys want my job. But what got me started, I was thinking, man, 11 more years should be retirement age. 11 or 12 years retiring. And I said, well, I don't have any 401k. I don't have any of that stuff going for me. So I was thinking, what am I going to do to supplement my income when it comes that time? And bees popped up in the back of my mind. I'm like, bees? Bees. Yeah, it popped in the back of my mind, bees. And I'm like, well, let me research this. So I started researching it. Spent about a year and a half or so researching and looking at equipment and stuff. And told my wife, I'm thinking about doing these bees. I said, instead of sitting here thinking about it and looking at it, researching it, for me, I've got to commit myself somehow to this. So I started buying bee equipment, your smoker, your jacket, and stuff like that. I got that stuff sitting there in the corner of the room. I'm looking at it. I'm like, I need to do something to use this. I'd already spent the money on it. I'm not going to waste the money. And then I was like looking around to buy packages, and by the time I looked for buying packages, it was like too late in the season. I was
Yeah,
like, well, I was like, what other way can I get bees? So I started, and I started looking at Randy's stuff, and he had the one first video I saw for Randy was the world's unofficial largest swarm catch that he did. He backed up a tree, truck with a bunch of boxes and pulled the bees out of the tree and dropped them in the boxes. I was like,
you're talking about Dirt Rooster, right?
yeah, Dirt Rooster, Randy. And so I was like, okay, that's interesting. And I started watching cutouts. Well, maybe I can find a cutout somewhere, So that's what I started doing, looking for stuff. Then I said, well, I'll put some swarm traps out just for the heck of it. And I kept going back, checking this first swarm trap I set out, and there wasn't much there. I saw scouts, and the numbers started getting a little more. I said, so what am I doing now to get them to come in there and stay, come in there right away? And I was talking to someone, and they said, well, use some old stinky comb. So I stuck a old piece of brood comb I bought from somebody for $5.
Really? That's pretty smart.
And the next day, bang! I mean, I had the first hive. That was May of last year, and so I let it. I opened it up, saw there, and that's okay. I'll come back and look at them in a couple of days. And apparently, as soon as that queen hit that box, she started laying that old brood comb. So they were locked in already by themselves. I didn't even try it. So I just took and moved them out. And probably the first mistake I made was I stuck, because it was an old styrofoam cooler I used to catch them in. So I couldn't keep them in that, so I went and had the 10 frame I bought and stuck them in a 10 frame, and they just took forever to grow. I overwhelmed them with just from like 2.5 frames to 10 frames in one day. It's like they were like, what, they just took forever, and I'm like, man, come on, do something, I was wanting to get honey off from the first year. Never did. I didn't do it because by the time the flow, they got big enough. By the time the end of the flow,
right.
The major flow, there's going to be only one small flow. Like your goldenrod. So I just left that. I just left that on them to hold them over for the winter. Then in October, I'd come outside and find a swarm hanging in the tree in my front yard. And
was that these or somebody else's?
They weren't mine because I had just checked like a day or so before, and there was no queen cells or anything in my hive, so they came from somewhere else. And that's the only reason I know they weren't mine, because I had just checked them like I said, a day or two before, and I would have noticed the queen cell. But
yeah,
she still was in there.
You go in your bees a lot.
Yeah, I go at least. I try to at least 1 to 10 day, 1 week to 10 days. I've only got 2 hives, so staying away from them is a little hard. when I start getting some more, and that may change because you won't be able to get in every box every day and stuff like that, or once a week. So.
And you'll kind of get over that having to get into. When I first got bees, I bought two full size colonies, which was way more than I should have gotten for a new beekeeper. I was in over my head, and one of them was just downright mean. I ended up having to euthanize them. But when I first got my bees, all I really wanted to do was get 7 colonies so I could go in 1 colony every day. That was my goal. Let's get 7 so I can go in 1 every day, because I wanted to be in them all the time.
Yeah, my wife said, "Man, you're gonna make them bees leave." I'm like, "Nah, they're gonna stay." Yeah, that could happen. Yes, after what I've been looking at.
I did that to 1 colony. I had I bought 2 colonies, and then I made 2 splits off of those, and I bought 2 queens. The only bees I ever bought was the first 2 colonies I bought and 2 queens, and I got 2 queens from Texas Bee Supply, and one of them, the mean colony that I split off of, killed her right away. And the other one, she was money. She laid and they were gentle. And then, the next year I started trying to raise queens off of her. So I pulled her and I just kept stealing her eggs and brood and kept making splits and kept going into them. I was going into them every few days. Oh, you got me some more eggs? I just had her making other colonies. And finally, there was a bunch of bees hanging out on the tree in my front yard. And I went out there to collect them. And all of a sudden there was a big pile of bees on the ground and it looked like they were balling her. So I looked through that and, oh my gosh, that was my blue. I called her what did I call her? I called her the Queen Mum. That's what I called her. She had a blue dot on her. And so I scooped her out of there. And I was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing out here in the front yard? And I went back to the colony and they had absconded. Those bees were not swarming. They had left. And they were just looking for somewhere else to live. I think they were tired of me going in there every few days.
I don't do it every few days. I mean, at least once a week.
They replaced her when I put them back into a different box. They went ahead and killed her because she swarmed out with them, but they were also swarming out with a virgin. Thanks, Aussie, for joining us. You're one of my favorite YouTube guys. It's been a treat.
Yeah, send an email to me, man. I will set up a time for you to come on. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Maybe you didn't have time really to do it tonight. He said, well, today for him.
Yeah.
So I put my email out there for him. So we set up a time for him to come in. So, I mean, yeah, I'm hoping to build this, and by them not growing as fast as I thought they were going to do,
Mm-hmm.
actually did give me some patience with it,
Yeah.
to know that they're going to do what they want to do, how they want to do it. I'm just here to make sure that they, what they don't have, I have available for them,
Yeah.
So that sort of put me in my place, thinking, I put that little bunch of bees in there. I thought it was going to be bang, a few months, be a full box of bees, and I'm gonna put another box on top, and they're going to make me honey,
Yeah. For that white hive.
See you in the white hive, huh?
No, the white hive.
The white hive.
White hive. Not the white hive. I had a friend in high school from South Africa, and his name was Wyatt, which is basically how they say white. Wyatt, Wyatt, and I would call him White, and he'd go, not white. he would mimic my redneck accent, and I would mimic his South African accent. So that was fun. Had a good time with him. Richard was his name.
Yeah, I got Larimore in here now.
Yeah, there's Larimore. Larimore actually watched my boring video and commented on it. So he's got it bad if he'll sit through that thing.
Man, I've had some doozy of videos. I didn't think we were going to do much of anything. I thought it was crappy because I had one video I had was mainly at my back. You could sort of see the beehive, but you couldn't really see a whole lot. And I thought that was going to be a junk video, and I put it out anyways. And it's running like about 300 views. I'm like, the one I spent time trying to get situated right, was in the beginning when I did it. I did one, a beginner beekeeper type of thing, right?
Yeah, I watch just about anything too, Larimore. I actually like it. I'll give you a little hint on YouTube. If you stumble across somebody that you hadn't seen before, you need to click on that video, because I found out early on that if you don't click on it then, when you go back to watch it, it won't pop up again. So, all the standards, the Richard Noels and the Ian Steppers and those guys, they'll come back around. But man, if you pass up on somebody's video, it may not come back up on your feed. So I always see somebody I hadn't seen before, I always check them out. I'll tell you what, there's a guy that doesn't have many followers. He's called Brian C. He's actually West Tennessee. He knows. I think Gus Mitchell's in his bee club, but he's doing some nice stuff. He's actually on his 3rd year of beekeeping, but he's just started doing a lot of YouTube. So he's got just backyard colonies, but he's got like a plexiglass top where he can look down in them, see what they're doing. It was pretty cool. He did an oxalic acid treatment and then watched the way the bees reacted to it from the top. I thought that was pretty cool.
I think Cayman did something like that before too.
He did that with dome top thing, didn't he?
Dome top, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty good. He's doing some pretty neat videos. People should sub him.
Brian C. I'll have to take a look, try to find him.
Yeah, DC said he uses Broodminder. He'll give you an update on the weight of his colony like every week.
Huh. I think the first time I ever saw anything about Broodminder was J.C. Cressman. The first time I saw anything about it when I was doing research on the bees and videos and everything. And I said, well, maybe I ought to do something once I start doing bees, get on YouTube. And, just for exposure value, that when I get down the road, people know who I am. They know they've heard of me, they've seen me or whatever, that when I start to do something, it'd be like, oh, maybe I ought to give that a try, see what he's got there, That was my original intentions. Didn't realize I was going to get in here and meet the people I've met, and some of the friendships I've made from it. It's been interesting. This ride's been a little interesting from the beginning. It's probably going to get more interesting as time goes.
Well, my experience so far with YouTube was, I just got into it because of these people I'd been watching for a couple of years. It was a way to kind of start interacting a little more with them. So, but I didn't have very many subscribers until one of my videos went. Well, to me it was viral. To most, it's not. But when I got a video that was for whatever reason, I think YouTube thought it was good, so they kept putting it out to people. But I gained like 150 subscribers just basically off that one video. So you just got to keep putting them out until one takes.
Yeah, right now I'm sitting at 92 subs, but it'll grow in time. Maybe I'll do something to catch some, get my video out like that. And
well, if you on the video that I put out that really caught fire was a video I made before I even was on YouTube. I just kind of like, okay, this might be something really cool. I better go ahead and video it. So it was the one where I went out and helped my friend he bought some property and had some hives on it. And I knew I figured I was really excited about going out there and checking it out. You can imagine if you had a friend that called you up and said, hey, I bought some property, it's got 10 hives on it and 2 of them have bees in it. Can you help me out? You'd be like, can I? Can we do it now?
I think
so anyway,
that video.
I decided to just film it, and then I just put it away because, well, I did try to edit. It was the first one I tried to edit, and I was just so bad at it, I just stopped and waited. So I waited till I got decent at editing. Well, I'm not even going to say I'm decent, but I got enough where I could put it together. And yeah, that's the one that seems like everybody's watching, and it's got me a bunch of subscribers. Yeah, exactly.
There's no
You're
wrong
right.
with that,
For it.
really. Like,
I was driving back to the cabin on my tractor today going, man, I should be recording this because some of the coolest things I see is like, I like Jerome Homestead and Bee Farm. He like shows himself riding out to his hives on his tractor and all that footage. I don't know why that's interesting, but it is.
yeah. Cody at least says always record it. You can delete it later. You can't record it later.
That's right. Hey, Lee said that he went out that he got those bees from that widow woman. Her husband had passed away, and then he said he went back out, and there was some back in the kind of in the bushes that he didn't think had bees. But Lee, I'd like to ask you a question. You left a bunch of colonies sitting out there in that field where you got that hive out of in the spring. It's almost guaranteed there's going to be some more bees moving in there. Is that part of your plan, or are you going to get all that? What are you going to do there?
That is a good question.
When I saw him leaving those colonies, I was like, man, a swarm will move into that so fast. That might be his mind. That might be his little secret. I might have exposed him.
Oh, he said he picked up the empty boxes when he went back.
Oh, he did. Okay, well, he won't be getting any more of those, but he may have enough. He may have enough bees. Oh, that's a kind of a dumb thing to say. You never have enough bees.
He's got plenty of bees, but you don't have the time to get in them, he says, usually. So, man. So, what's going on here? I didn't miss, DC said he's found a new good person. Give me a second, I gotta find it. And that was the last I heard from him.
I got a new good one.
Thought about leaving them, but she was cleaning up the property, and she was going to burn the boxes.
What?
So
you need to come on and tell us about that. I've been trying to goad you into coming on to a live anyway. That sounds like a good story.
No, that was Lee saying that about the boxes.
Oh, Lee was saying. Okay.
He thought about leaving them, but she was cleaning up the property. She was going to burn the boxes, so he took them.
Oh gosh, no. So yeah, DC's talking about it. Somebody else's channel there. I see. Okay.
Oh, Smoky Mountain Lash Bees.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out too. Brian C. and Smoky Mountain Lash Bees. Hey, beekeeping. Yeah, I saw him last night on a live last night.
Was that Charlie's Sawmill Charlie's live?
Yeah, Sawmill Charlie's live. Beekeeping and gardening.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about he says I subbed you, and I was like, oh, which one did you sub? I was looking at mine. I said, I think I subbed you a while back. He said, yeah, I subbed you a while back too. It was so and so, someone else he had subbed.
I don't think I've subbed. I'll have to check them.
DC says he did.
Yeah.
He said she seems to know her stuff.
Smoky Mountain Lash Bees. I think I've got to remember that.
Well, because you're doing your live on the on your phone, right?
You talking about me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just out here at the farm on my phone. It sometimes can be little dicey on the audio. It works better if I have my microphone, but I left it at home. So beekeeping, gardening, where are you from? Where's Smoky Mountains?
Sorry about the noise. I got a train going by.
Okay. DC Smoky Mountains runs from Georgia all the way up to Maine. It's the Appalachian. Wow. UK. Cool. What time is it there?
Southampton, UK. I knew he wasn't from this country, but I didn't know exactly where he was at.
Oh, yeah. I think it's like a 6 or 8 hour difference.
Yeah. From at least East Coast time.
Ah, look at that. Midnight.
6
Well,
6 hours.
Happy tomorrow.
Yeah, I just set up the Smoky Mountain.
Yeah, so I guess when the world ends, half the world's gonna get an extra day.
Depends. Because if one half the world is a day earlier, then the next half ain't gonna see the next day.
That's what I'm saying. They'll get the next day. We won't. Uh-oh, DC's giving you some technical advice.
Wiggle my mic.
You're at work now. Uh-oh, you're going to get in trouble. Keep your head down.
No, I'm not at work.
Beekeeping.
Oh.
Yeah.
We gotta go get something to eat.
I put on a pot of beans before I got on with you. I hope by the time I get off, maybe they'll be done.
Beans or black eyed peas?
I put on, dang it, what are they? The ones that are spotty when you put them in, but they're red when you take them out. What's that called?
You broke up there a little bit.
I'm sorry. The ones that I'm going to look in the cabinet. Pinto beans.
Pinto beans? Yeah.
I put some of this wild pig that I kill out here at the farm in them. That makes them good.
Yeah. When we were living out there in Texas, we had a neighbor who went hunting all the time, bring us back about 3 or 4 of the small wild pigs, and I'd slow cook them suckers till the meat fell off the bone.
Man, that's good. They're that wild pig meat's real sweet.
If they're young, they get a little older, it gets gritty, almost like they've been eating sand.
I don't eat them if they're over 100 pounds.
Everything he brought us was under that. It wasn't much bigger than a 50, 60 pound dog in size.
That's perfect size. Yeah, that's what I look for. Is I might, if it's 125, I might go ahead and do it. But if it's an old boar, I won't. I won't. I just drag it out and let the buzzards have it. Coyotes. But I got to get my trap set up because I'm just about out.
Yeah, because I love fresh meat, game meat. Yeah. I don't have the time to go get it because I'm always working. I work from sun up to sun down.
Yeah. Hey, DC, I was watching Steve-O today. Yeah. Steve-O catches them in a snare, and then he shoots them with a bow and arrow out behind his house. He's in Florida. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Steve's Outdoor World.
Well, beekeeping that depends on what the temperature is, depending on where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm at 52 degrees in Alabama.
I bet I'm pretty close to that too. I think it's going to get a little cooler tonight, but I think it's only going to get down to like in the mid 40s.
Yeah, it's about what we're looking at.
I'm trying to decide: do I want to get a fire started in the old smoke wood stove here? Let me see if I can show that to you guys. There it is, right there.
I like that. I like that.
That thing will run you out of this cabin.
I'm looking for something like that to put in my, I have a fireplace,
Mm-hmm.
and I was wanting to try to put something like that, like an insert or a little stove like that in the house. That'll generate more than the fireplace is going to generate for heat.
Oh, that's the thing. Of course, this little cabin's only, I don't know, about 350 square feet. It's small, but it's just right for, hanging out for the weekend.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we had it was a pretty good sized stove we put into. My mom and them lived in a trailer, and we rigged up, took a window out of the house, rigged up the ducting going through there, the flue, and hooked up a stove. We had to run water on it all the time. So we all had our turns. Our night, we had to go keep feeding it wood during the night, during the winter. And that thing didn't need anything else. That house was hot most of the time because of that stove. I love them.
Yeah, there's nothing better than wood heat. See, Michael up there said it's 29 in Vermont, warm.
Warm here, 29.
There wouldn't be any doubt about whether I was going to make a fire if it was 29. So Beekeeping Garden said same here, but I hope he means it's that cold. DC, you must be in Washington. You're on the west side of the mountain, so you probably have pretty mild temperatures there. DC's got a pretty place. They got those big, what are those spruce trees? What are those, DC? It's really nice.
And think about where he's at, though. If he's on the leeward side of the Rockies, then he probably gets a lot of rain.
Yeah. I got no problem with that. It's a lot easier to find a place to stay dry than it is to make rain.
Yeah.
Gunline, where are you? I see your videos, but I'm not exactly sure where you are. I got you kind of pegged as northern Alabama, but I don't know if that's accurate or not.
He's the southern Alabama.
Oh, he's southern Alabama too? Okay.
Yeah. But he's on the west side. He's over there towards Mississippi.
All right.
Evergreens and cedars, what DC says. Later, beekeeping.
Yeah. Those cedar trees are massive then. They don't get that big either.
He gets a lot of coastal weather, like I was saying, moisture and rain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Seattle.
He says and Gunline says right outside of Mobile, which.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, that stays pretty warm down through there. That's kind of the Louisiana's like New Orleans and that whole area down there. I think that's also where most of the beekeepers we watch are down in that area.
Yeah. Trying to say, like, I look at my calendar here because I'm heading towards Mobile next in a little after a while here.
Right.
Actually, February the 25th. I got to go to a coalition of independent writers. Not actually, it's Alabama Coalition of Clubs. I ride, and I got to go to a meeting down there in Mobile on the 25th. So I stay. Like I said, I stay busy. If I'm not working, I'm riding. I go to motorcycle clubs, and then which is a ministry for me.
Right.
And then I go to different have to go to different meetings somewhat. So my schedule is always full.
Hey, Ed, my phone gave me a 5% warning, and now it's down to 3. So it's probably just going to hang up on you. I don't want to be rude, but
Well, that's fine.
probably going to need to check out of here and go plug it up. So
All right, man. All right, bro.
You and everybody else there too.
All right, you have a good evening, then.
All right, Ed. Take care. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Gotta get out of here.
So if anybody, I put the link back in again. So if anybody would like to join. Before I send this, Tim, I'm putting my number out there. I don't mind if people copy this number and give me a call. If I don't answer, I'm usually busy with work or busy. Period. So I'm putting my number out. So there you guys go. That way I can get Tim's number. Maybe maybe call me and give me his number if you don't want to give it out over here. So that way I can give him a holler when I head out there to Mobile. I'll probably be done with the meeting sometime around early afternoon. And I'll be like I was on one of the lives where Bob was talking about. I'm in my Son of Anarchy gear. I'll be wearing that stuff that day. It's not actually Son of Anarchy, it's Bikers for Christ, but I actually done pretty good tonight. It seems like for all the errors I was starting with this morning, earlier in this live, going pretty good. Yeah, I understand that, Tim. I figured since I was headed that way, We might swing by and visit for a little while whenever we, couple things together, trying to get multiple things done. Yeah, I'll be looking for your text, Tim. Oh. Like I said, first time on StreamYard, I done 2 no-nos in one night. Email and phone number. But I think that talking to that Aussie, bringing him on would be an interesting for all of us. Bob and Lee brought on a Jamaican one night, and his videos when he came on, and that was actually really interesting. Get a little slice of beekeeping worldwide. Wouldn't hurt any of us, because they may be doing something in an environment similar to ours, and then we would see how that, well, they approached it this way. That sounds like it might work, and it may. DC. Yeah, I know I'm bad. Two cardinal sins in the first night on StreamYard, but I ain't got nothing to hide from nobody, and I do know how to hang a phone up with somebody that calls I don't want calling. Yeah, I tell you what. Anybody tries to steal anything of mine, they're gonna be paying me to return it, because they don't want what I got. I ain't got no credit rating. I ain't got no credit card. I ain't got none of that stuff. Everything I pay for, usually I pay for in full. I think the only thing I'm paying for on time right now is my house. So and I probably got another 4 years on that. No, but yeah, we shouldn't. But the thing is, you think about it. Some of you guys out there may have a little more to lose than other people. You know, and like your credit rating, or um, maybe you had 100,000 subscribers on your account. I mean, that's a lot to lose, yes, but in the long run, it's all easy to replace. You know, I don't try to get the other stuff the other people got. I just try to get what I need. Maybe a little extra just in case I need it later on and don't have the money for it. Like I said, credit rating, they'll pay me to take my credit rating back. They ain't gonna steal my identity. Yeah, you had $50 once and you lost it. Go figure. And there's a lot of money I've done lost in life. A lot of it's been through stupidity, but God's blessed me. And I don't think that Bob wasn't trying to be cautious. I think he thought it was legitimate with every way everything looked, and is why he did what he hit the button, and he heard the flushing sound a little too late. Shoot, $50 at the grocery store. Was that 2 pieces of bacon and in a slab of lettuce? All right, guys, give me a minute here. I have to step away for a minute. That's why I was hoping I had somebody else on here, but you know, that's not a scenario. Give me a moment. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Well, what happened while I was gone? Yeah, that's why I gotta get to planting some pre-starter seeds so I can get me a garden in. Boiled tree bark. Depends on what tree bark you're talking about. I know that, you know, even mushrooms. Mushrooms are actually a pretty good staple sometimes. You find felled trees and stuff like that. You can find some pretty good mushrooms, edible mushrooms. Yeah, I know. I will be late this year. I've been worried about the bees more than I've been worried about growing seeds. I've got plenty of seeds. Yeah, I've been trying to talk the wife into letting me raise some chickens. Have raise enough chickens. We have some for meat and mostly eggs. We use a lot of eggs. I love eating eggs, cackleberries, butt nuggets. Yeah, bees usually take care of themselves for the most part, but I'm the first. It's my first year, and I was trying to get them through winter. That's why I was worried. I didn't know what to expect or how to approach it till we started doing this thing and going to live chats and talking to people and bouncing ideas around. You know, these things pan out most of the time, and that's why I actually enjoy this, and that's why I try to start this with myself. Oh, now I'm not scared of the bees. I don't like the sting, but it's part of it. Be crazy to be scared of bees and raising them. Well, I guess it could be therapy if you really looked at it. You know, if you're scared of bees and you had to take and raise some and take care of them. Well, DC, it looks like you found you a little niche there to keeping them girls going and keeping them alive. Good night, DC. I think the only thing I'm really scared of, El Picasso, is spiders. I mean, spider webs don't bother me. Little tiny spiders don't bother me. Once they get over a certain size, I can't stand them. It happened when I was like 19. I was drunk walking in the woods to the house because I dropped my motorcycle in the sand, and I was drunk, and recluses hang out of the trees in South Carolina, and I guess I ran into a couple of them in the trees, and it freaked me out when I was drunk, and ever since then I've been petrified of them. One thing I worry about with bats is potentially for rabies, but they say that's not a high possibility with bats. I don't believe it. Yeah, you can see, if they're big like that. You can see them kill them too. With a 2x4 or oven cleaner, which I did with a wolf spider one time. That thing came out under my door of an apartment I lived in Texas. Just crawled up under the door, and he had like a 6-inch leg span. That thing freaked me out, and I used a whole can of oven cleaner on it. You got a point there, El Picasso. Yeah, I was hit in the head driving down the road one time in Texas on a motorcycle with a bat. Hit my helmet, knocked my head back. What in the world are blue cobalt teas, Lee? Oh, tarantulas. Okay. And I've heard that tarantulas, their bites probably no worse than a couple bee stings for the most part. You know, it's funny. I'm scared of spiders, but in the arachnid family, you have uh, scorpions, and I'll play with a scorpion. I used to trip out on the pictures they send back from Saudi Arabia about those sand spiders they had out there. Those big suckers take down a camel. Uh-uh. What nothing to do with that sucker. AR-15 and unload a doggone 2 clips in it just to make sure it's dead. You take a good look at a bee's face. They got just as many eyes, it seems like, on their head. But for me, a bee is cute. Got them little alien eyes and got those three eyes on top. Well, guys, I guess I'm gonna cut this off at 2 hours, which is another 10 minutes. Had fun this evening. Maybe some more of you guys next time will come in and visit with me. Have a little more fluency with the you know, the live stream here. Now that I know what I'm looking for. Had a little help from Grayson earlier, which helped me out. Thank you, Grayson, if you're still in here. And I've done it on the phone through YouTube itself. I've not had to do it, not done it through StreamYard till the night. And thank all of you for showing up tonight. Yeah, I've had a good time. So, Nel Picasso, come back, sub, do whatever, man. But I've had fun. And yes, please do sting that like button. So, I thought Charlie would have showed up tonight. Gave us a little something interesting to do. Yeah, it's funny. I started this tonight. Didn't really have any idea how it was going to turn out, or what to other than B chat, And Aussie come in and start pumping things up, and then Philip came on, and I've actually had fun with this tonight. To Bob, I don't know if Bob gonna get a chance to see this or not. He's always talking about, man, you're taking live. I'm proud of you. Yeah. So I mean, try to fill the next 8 minutes. So what you doing tomorrow, Lee? Anybody gonna get in their bees tomorrow? Yeah, sorry, I heard about when I saw that video about that 1 yard, man. We got some extra equipment to go start some more with. Yeah, I may go back in tomorrow just for a quick 1-2 on both of my hives. I think I'm gonna pull some honey out of off of one of the hives and some pollen and put it into the smaller hive, sort of a morale booster for them because they don't have a whole lot. They got 3 frames of brood on 4 frames that they're covering. So, and that's, to me, doesn't seem there's a whole lot there. Luckily, I've been feeding them because they're keeping alive. But I think the extra frame of honey in there and some fresh pollen would be a morale booster for them. And put some empty frames back into the big hive because they pulled out the 3 that I put in there after I coated them with wax. They wouldn't pull those things out almost all the way out, and that's been 10 days. Put them on either side of the brood chamber, and they just went to town on it. So we'll see what happens. They may not be happy with me going in them again tomorrow, but at least I know I have a plan of what I'm doing. Get in, get out, so that these girls don't get too aggravated with me. I got a question for El Picasso. You ever done something and been somewhere and ran into something you've never ever seen or heard of before, and you try to figure it out and you start researching it, and finally you find out it's something more common in that area that you've never seen, that you never even heard of. It just seemed like never was talked about, but it's there. Well, guys, I guess I'm gonna close it out. Probably a little early tonight. 3 minutes before being 2 hours. Uh, I'm not Charlie. I can't. I didn't do 6 hours my first night. But I think Charlie had a little planning on his. I just decided I'd do it, and it was an experience. And I'll be seeing y'all again. So my parting words are: be good, behave, and be hive. And I will see you guys in other chats and back on mine. Love y'all. Love your bees.